obviously the talking point was about bringing in VAR into football because of the Kyogo goal.
Yep.
But what my point is towards the diving situation. Now, if it was on the other hand, me being a Rangers fan, I'm sure you agree that Morelos has been pulled up for it time and time again, and it was casted back to bringing in the compliance officer. The amount of bans he's had, it's been ridiculous. I don't even know if there is such a thing now. Where is the compliance officer? Just basically to see what you think about VAR coming into football, because these young kids basically seeing footballers falling about everywhere and nothing seems to be happening about it.
Do we still have a compliance officer, Mark?
Yeah.
We do. It's gone quiet though, isn't it, at the moment?
Yeah,
He's not the Rangers end.
He's not one that wants to hog the limelight. He seems to go about his business quietly. It used to be for a spell when it was clear white. There was the phrase that was coined every Monday morning. Trial by sports scene. But no, that's all kind of gone away for the time being. But yeah, we do have a compliant officer, a lawyer, who fulfills that role.
Yeah, and what's your main? Who are the guilty parties diving wise? Then do you see? Are you seeing a lot of it going on?
Social media, right? Yeah, but it's just we've just cast our minds back to the Hearts game, and the video was all over social media. No one was near Kyogo and he falls to his feet. Now, I'm not saying the one at Livingston, there was contact. It's a red card and it's a penalty to Celtic. But he falls down like a ton of bricks, and if kids are sitting watching young football, they're going to think that's acceptable, and that's what they're going to do, aren't they?
Barry?
Yep, the quicker we get VAR in, the better. For me, I don't like people diving, I'll be honest with you. It's a pet hate of mine. Look, I'm not going to take it away about Kyogo as a player. He's been fantastic since he's came to Celtic, but some of the stuff that he done, I think it was John Souttar, is that correct?
It was
Jordan, it was John Souttar. He doesn't need to do that. And listen, he's a hero to a lot of people. People will be watching it. Let his football do the talking. That's for me. The quicker we get VAR in, and hopefully, I don't know, Matt will know better than me, hopefully they get it in by the start of next season, but it's going to come down to finance.
It's finance and also training all the officials, Barry. It's not something that can be done in 1 or 2 training sessions. It will take a minimum 6 months, so they might struggle to get in time for July to August, but it's got to come in. And on diving, Kyogo's not covered himself in glory, but it's not exclusive to Kyogo. It happens in Scottish football. And what I'd say is, I've said this many times, Robin, on another station, for me, I'd love to see the PFA take the initiative, because they are the members, after all the players, and there's solidarity when they want it to be, but I think they avoid issues that they shouldn't avoid. I'd love to see the PFA set an agenda on their own, and with their own members, get all the captain whoever it is, and say, we do not condone diving to a fellow. You're trying to cheat your fellow member.
Yeah.
It's not right. We give referees stick for getting decisions wrong, and rightly so. But sometimes referees have been conned. They're getting by players, which isn't nice either. It makes the referee look foolish. It's not necessary, but it's not exclusive to Kyogo. It happens in the game, and it needs to be stamped out. It's not nice, and it's players. Bottom line, when it comes down to it, it's players conning their fellow professionals, and that's where the PFA could come in and be trailblazers. And I've mentioned it many times to Fraser Wishart. I'd love to see it happen.
Reply today?
It was non-committal.
I mean, it doesn't matter who it is, and we see it all the time. We see it around the UK. We see it across Europe. The merest of touches, and somebody falls as if they've been.
Yeah, it's been highlighted because of the player that Kyogo is. Since he's come into Celtic, he's been a fantastic signing. He scored many goals. But I'm not just going on Kyogo. I think any player that's caught diving and cheating, they should have the book thrown at them.
Yeah, we go through phases, don't we, where we try and up the punishment levels and try to stamp it out, because that's the only way. I mean, somebody's got to suffer for diving.
Yeah, I mean, and also as well, you have really got to differentiate between a clear dive, and Barry will know, being a player and managing the teams, sometimes you've got to make allowances because you're anticipating you're riding it. Sometimes but when it's clear diving, then your other cases it looks like diving but it's not really diving, and that's where referees, managers and players can get together to decide a punishment. But when it's absolutely blatant,
if you ask any centre forward, if they feel a touch they'll go down. And I'm fine. I see if it's a slight touch, you are going to.
And especially when you're moving at pace.
Yeah. But if nobody's
Yeah.
beside you and they're conning the referee, they're conning the opposition, then you've got to come hard on them.
Jordan.
Yes, no, I totally agree. But the thing is, like Barry said, Kyogo, me being a Rangers fan, right? But Kyogo, he's a decent enough player to avoid that. Now, the Livingston one, it was minimal contact. The Livingston player didn't have to do it whatsoever. There's contact, they've got the penalty. But then again, he's looking for it every time, as any striker would. But where's the punishment? Because at the end of the day, I'm sure, me being a Rangers fan, it's happened a couple of times to the likes of Morelos. You wait till Monday morning and he's got a ban, and then this weekend Kyogo goes put straight back in the Celtic squad. There's got to be some sort of punishment. It's not one rule for one and a different rule for another.
Yeah. Andrew Phillips is the name that I was searching for there, who is the compliance officer at the moment. And the fact that I actually didn't really know that it was him who was the compliance officer tells the story, because it's not happening the way. I mean, it used to be such a regular thing on a Monday morning that something or other, someone or other would be hauled up retrospectively because of video evidence. I think I used to be the judge on Trial by Sports Scene, actually.
It's funny, he's been there for 10 months.
Yeah.
So it just shows you, 10 months. Yeah, 10 months he's been in the role for.
Claire White rings a bell.
Yeah, she get involved in a few things. It was almost like weekly basis. What was different, but Andrew Phillips. Listen, that's not to say he's not. He's been sitting in his office for 10 months twiddling his thumbs. He will be doing stuff. I'm sure he's earning his keep. But and there'll be stuff going on privately as well.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes that we don't know about. But yeah, it is interesting that I had to look his name as well and researched it there. 10 months he's been in the job.
I think we're all champing at the bit to get VAR installed, because it feels as if we're second-class citizens in Scottish football, that we don't have it, and lots of other leagues, the big leagues, the glamour leagues, you expect them to have it, but there are leagues that probably Scotland could look at and compare themselves who have VAR, and we don't at the moment. I mean, I read something the other day, Mark, that said maybe December. I thought it was going to be in and happening for the start of next season, but I think I read somewhere maybe midway through the season it might be before it's actually up and running, which is a little bit disappointing because we want it as soon as.
Yeah, I mean, there's only a handful of our officials, Rob, that are trained up on it, that know exactly what to do. And what you don't want to do is implement it too early and it becomes chaotic. You think back to the English Premier League a couple of years ago, there wasn't a full grasp of it. You look at it now, how much smoother it is. Look how much smoother it was in the Euros during the summer. So you don't want to bring it in and it's actually causing more harm in the goods. So you need to make sure that they're ready. They know exactly what they're doing. They know how to work it. The vans and the actual VAR official in the van, the way they communicate, who's looked at the screens, bump, all the different things. So yeah, it might take probably a bit longer than what we would all like. But if it means it's coming in and they're going to hit the ground running with it, then we'd as well wait an extra few months.
It is improving, but beforehand, you're talking 3 or 4 minutes before a decision was made. That's too long for me. I mean, there was a good example yesterday. I was watching Aston Villa Leicester game with Casper Spiegel. I don't know if you've seen the
when he put his hand on the ball.
That was done and dusted within about a minute or so.
Yeah.
I think previous to that may have took 3 or 4 minutes, but the referee made a decision to go over the screen. He made a call and that was it, over and done with. But we need to get it in quickly as possible up here. I wasn't too sure, if I'm being honest with you, at the start, but the more I'm thinking about it, some of the things that are happening in our game up here, we need to get it in quickly as possible. It's going to come down to finance.
Yeah.
Our clubs have the money to do it? The Scottish football have the money to do it? But we need to get it in somehow.
Tell Alexa to launch Go Radio or listen on the Go Radio app.